everyone, and welcome to episode 132. This is the pre-show for Focus on the Gunsmith. Yeah. So, Gunsmith's going to get some changes. We're going to go into that with some of the focusing he's getting. A little bit the lack of playing that we've done recently. And, we've got some checkmate updates on this podcast. We have our weapons breakdown, the last three weapons for Crota's End. And then, of course, the mailbag. So how y'all doing this week?
Oh, busy with other stuff that isn't the game because Ryan decided he wanted to have computer issues, and Jared has stuff to do because he has a life.
My Ethernet port no longer works on my computer, or has turned itself off or something. So that's kind of what I've been dealing with a bit.
So what do you have going on for now, or do you just have it?
I had to go buy a USB network adapter.
Oof.
My computer does not have Wi-Fi on the motherboard.
Okay. Have you noticed anything weird going on since you got it going through a USB?
I just did it right before I got on.
Okay.
So as of right now, no. But
So what do you think? Just like static build up? We haven't had a thunderstorm in a while, right? So
dude, for all I know, it's just like a driver thing, and I took an update on accident.
yeah.
So I'd say it's probably to do with that.
Oh, that life that Chad spoke of, man, it stayed up pretty late Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then, man, this week of work has just been a grind. Grindier than most weeks. And luckily, along with that grind in work, there was no grind in Destiny right now.
I mean, really, we're what, like one master challenge and like one nightfall behind one grandmaster.
Yeah,
Like,
and like
I'm not sweating it yet.
I think like next week, grandmasters are out, like for you just knock them all out.
Yep.
Which I think is way funner to though to play them through that way than actually just like get them done through each week.
I definitely agree with that.
We all good to go?
I think so. I think I got the Twitch thing going up too. All right. Jared, are you in the Zencaster?
Oh, I forgot to do something. I was looking at those Pokemon cards.
My bad, dog.
Yeah, I'm in there now.
What's your favorite Pokemon of the original, Jared?
I think in my younger days it was actually Charmeleon, and actually stopped him from evolving the Charizard for a while. But now if I look back, the coolest one is definitely Mewtwo. Like Mewtwo is like the best, which of course he's made in a freaking lab, but yeah.
I was always a Charizard. Always. Like from the minute I saw it, I was like Charizard and Snorlax.
Yeah.
Those are my two.
I don't know what it is about the
Snorlax was G.
I don't know what it is about the second forms, but even like the Dratini. Like I really love the Dratini too. I don't know.
What let's see. The Arcanine?
Yeah.
That
the
like the
dog.
tiger. I'm just a solar sucker, I guess.
Yeah.
And was that not Vulpix. Ponyta? Was that Vulpix's evolved form?
No, Ninetales.
Yeah.
Ponyta was the pony.
Ninetales. Yeah. Ninetales. That's it.
You
I like
think back,
Ninetales.
I think like the early on, like the fire, whatever you had to do to get the fire badge and Pokemon, like that was like one of the cooler bosses to get to, like on the island that you had to get to. That's where like you start catching
What was
the
your first
Magmar.
Pokemon game?
I believe it was Yellow,
Okay.
and then I played Red after Yellow.
So I had red, my neighbor had blue. So and then he got the transfer cable or whatever to where we could trade back and forth and evolve the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
To Machamp and Gengar.
That's that, and that how you do Alakazam too.
Yeah. I think it's those three.
Mm-hmm.
Was it
Oh no, yeah, Golem.
Gengar? What no
Golem too,
Gengar?
so there's the
wasn't he in the opening like scene?
Yeah, it was him fighting a Nidorino.
I think my dog walker is getting tattooed of Ghastly, Hunter, and Gengar together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and she's like a big like purple is her like favorite color and stuff like that. So
All right, let me chew up these last Alka-Seltzers here. I'll be ready to start.
the worst looking Pokemon I would say is Graveler. I think he is the worst looking Pokemon out there.
Because he's the one that evolves from Geodude, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me he looks like if you smacked the heck out of a Golem, or just Golem's ugly cousin.
Mm-hmm.
He's like the weird halfway point. Like, I'm sorry, dude. I get where you're going, but I don't like this transitional period.
He's that.
I always thought
he's that picture before the glow up. Before the glow up, he's the
Executor, the big like tree.
Yeah.
I always thought that one was pretty dumb.
The coconut tree.
You could get solar beam on it. I remember that as like one reason to get it. Yeah.
Yeah, because the champ had him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason I remembered him is because your rival has him at the end.
All right, I am clicking the button. Eyes up, Guardians. We are live for episode 132 of the Conqueror's Corner podcast. Today is Thursday, September the 28th, and I am the Destiny bad boy, NotRyanFox, with my fire team, who all of you CCBs know by now. Jared.
Hey everyone, this episode we got Gunsmith, focusing updates, and a couple weapons that you can go after now that's in game. Some little bit of updates for the new PvP mode, Checkmate. And what we've been going on and doing in game.
And the chronicler himself, Chadocero.
I'm running up against the last of the lore tonight. So any questions sent in by the fans is going to be really necessary until something happens this season. Probably the haunted or whatever it is.
And as a reminder, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, thank you. But don't forget, you can take us on the road via Spotify, iTunes, and other podcast services. Make sure you subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe, click the bell, turn on notifications, yada, yada, yada. Follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. Send us a bunch of friend requests so we can play games together. Sam brought the TWID this week, but before we get into that, let's listen to our intro music, who is brought to you by everybody's favorite Link, who you can find on Twitter at LinkOfTimeG. 127.
That makes it easy, dog.
I'm not gonna lie. I saw I was at 122, so I was trying to hit it.
Speed up.
Hit it just straight.
Perfect. I like it. Oh no. Oh yeah, that's right. Squiggles. Okay.
Good. Oh, I don't know if I have squiggles.
I see your squiggles. Say something again.
I see Chad's.
Yep. I see your squigs.
I should be in there.
Yeah, I see Jared's too.
All right. Button. Wow, Link. Awesome job. Thank you.
All right, so the tour kicks off with new Lightfall and Trials rewards. So in the Nightfall this week, you can get a solo bow. So with that, it's a precision bow, and it's in the solo class, and has a new Castoreid Foundry. So it's whenever it drops like the Telesto bolt onto the floor, given on what kind of enemy you killed. So like a Thrall will drop just a single. But if you kill like a major or a champion, you can get up to 3 to drop, I believe. So the other solo bows sometimes can be harder to come by. One of them is in strikes. So if you're like back on a few weapons with strikes and you haven't had one drop yet, so it's just pure RNG to get one to drop. And then also from Last Wish, Tyranny of Heaven. So this one's out there now to go chase. In that third column, you got Perpetual Motion, Archer's Tempo, Perfect Float, Shoot to Loot, and Light in Action and Rangefinder. So if you're looking at PvE there, that Archer's Tempo is pretty great. It's really hard to beat. And then the right column, Incandescent, Collective Action, Successful Warm-Up, Opening Shot, Explosive Head, and Precision Instrument. Explosive Head's always really good on bows. You can kind of get like an extra stun off if it has a champion mod. And Precision Instrument's also good, just racking up those precision hits, which is usually pretty easy to do with a bow. And then Trials got a grenade launcher, and it's a stasis one. So, and it's from the Armelon Foundry. Left column, Impulse Amplifier. That's probably what you're going to look at for PvP. Envious Assassin, PvE, Field Prep, PvE, and then you have the rest. You have Slick Draw and Light in Action, Autoloading Holster, and Demo, which Autoloading Holster and Demo always will have a play. Right column, Cascade Point, Chain Reaction, Explosive Light. That's a good one. Hatchling, Forecourt, Vorpal Weapon, and Bait and Switch, which gives you some options. And actually, it's not a terrible gun to go chase after a couple of these wolves. I have gotten neither of these weapons yet. I haven't played a single game of Trials in a long time. But apparently you can just play. You can get the regular versions to drop of the Trials weapons. So y'all let me know if you're trying to get any of those weapons to drop and what you're actually looking for.
As Trials has already happened once this season, right?
Yeah, it's been multiple times.
Oh. I think I played it last time I was around. I think I got like maybe halfway through a reset or so. So I might pop in there and see if I can see what happens. But then again, if I lose connection one time, I'll probably turn the game off and not turn it back on for the rest of the evening.
Yep. Definitely something that probably happened to a lot of people over the, what is that, like 10 days? Is it 2 weeks now? Where like connections get interrupted after they announce that they do get DDoSed, and after that they haven't really announced too many times after that because they don't want to just let people know when that's happening or when they're working on it. So, and then there was like a back end engineer for at Bungie that was really happy. They tweeted out and they said they couldn't tell you how many times they wish they could have just told people that they're getting DDoSed, but they wasn't allowed to tell. Whenever they people just probably tweeting out fix your servers, Bungie. Because just think back that Root of Nightmares raid, and how it was just terrible connections that entire weekend, and they probably just getting DDoSed all weekend long.
As Chad would say, who loves this game enough to DDoS it?
Yeah.
Checkmate. So it's playing pretty well, and they're liking the feedback. So they're changing up a little bit of the primary weapon gameplay, which that's the kind of the main purpose of Checkmate. So they're bringing some stuff in line. Devil's Rune's getting a little bit more nerf in that playlist, from 10% nerf to 15%. Fighting Lions getting a nerf of 20%. It was at 0. And bows are getting a nerf of 10%. And they was at 0. Sidearms, it's going from 10 to 5% damage penalty. SMGs is going 5% to 0. Scout rifles are going from 10% to 9%. I kind of caught my eye that SMGs were at 0% in that playlist. But I guess the extra health of the playlist, so SMGs are not too strong. They increased the bonus damage on auto rifles and pulse rifles. Auto rifles are going from 0% to 2%, and pulse rifles are going from 0% to 5%. I mean, they're really moving the needles with some of these percents, Yeah, that's big moves. Hand cannons, they reduced the bonus damage from 10% down to 7%. And they corrected an issue that was allowing Vets Mythic class to benefit from the bonus damage of special ammunition fusion rifles. And that feels like a blast back from the Destiny 1 days.
I feel like that gun, sometimes it gets auto rifle stuff it shouldn't get. Sometimes it gets fusion rifle stuff it shouldn't get. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that's an interestingly coded weapon, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with the amount of troubles they're having with this, that one fusion in D1 that they never brought up to light, that's never gonna be in D2 ever. I can't even remember what it is, but it was the last Rasputin gun.
Was it wasn't Plan A or Plan
Pocket
B?
Infinity.
Was it Plan C? Pocket Infinity.
Yeah, no, that's that. Well, 100%. If there's having this much trouble with Vex,
mm-hmm. They'll run out of stuff to do one day, and they'll put it back in.
It'll be a special pack.
That'd be like the Bungie the 35th anniversary. Destiny's 2 still going.
31.5 anniversary.
All right, the Gunsmith. Let's go get some changes here. So, Foundry weapons. I remember back to almost, was that Gun Day? Or is that what it was called in Destiny 1? Where you got
Arms
the
Day.
Arms Day.
Yeah.
Arms Day. Yeah.
Yeah, and always looking to see what's there, and what you can put in for a weapon to come back. They're gonna be having some Foundry days rotating at the Gunsmith, and when you can go focus some of those weapons and see what you get. So Soros is gonna have the Cantata 57, the Syncopation 53, Fugi 55, Stacco 46, Pizzacco. I don't know. That's that weird auto rifle that nobody uses, right? Or that's an SMG.
Pizza Cat.
Yeah, that one. So they're not going to be there every day. So say you log in on Tuesday and you're like, hey, I want to try to get some Soros weapons. Well, it's going to be on a rotator. So day 1, whenever this starts in season 23, Armelon and Soros is going to be there. Day 2, Soros is still going to be there, but Hake now goes in and takes Amelon. Day 3, Hake remains. Vice comes in. Day 4, Vice is there, and Amelon makes its return. And it's going to keep going around in that loop. Now, to focus one of these weapons might be a little expensive. It's going to take 3 Gunsmith engrams and 5,000 Glimmer. To me, Gunsmith engrams, I didn't really think about getting those, and I didn't really know how to really got them at some points. I just know that you can just dismantle weapons and rank up the Gunsmith. But there's going to be more ways for you to go get those Gunsmith engrams. So, of course, just ranking up Gunsmith. Also in Lost Sector completions, just completing a regular Lost Sector, it's a 20% chance. Completing a Legend, Solo, and Platinum, it's 40%. Master, Solo, and Platinum, 60%. And then free roam chests at 20%.
Lost Sectors ain't it, man. My God, they are not it. Why do we keep tying stuff to Lost Sectors? I think it was Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
I hopped on and it was like, I had like 3 or 4 hours to get like some arms I needed. And man, I ran that thing like 7 or 8 times on master difficulty before they dropped. And I was like, this is too much. Like, it wasn't necessarily a difficult Lost Sector, but there was like 2 parts of it that were kind of frustrating. But like, that's a dumb
You're
way.
so lucky.
It's a dumb way to get it.
And here's the thing. I even though I'm saying that Ryan's lucky because he didn't hit the double digis on those, that's still a lot. It's a lot. Because like, even if it's a fast one, it's like 15 minutes each, 10, 15. To run that 7, 8 times to get the one thing you wanted, maybe, it's rough. Like, if you can complete it, like, if I know they have a way to log if it's like a solo flawless. If it's solo flawless, you should be guaranteed an exotic. The pool is gigantic. The chances of you getting the one you want with a good roll are abysmal enough that if they just guarantee you an exotic, the chances of you getting the one you really, really like is still very, very low. And then if you don't solo flawless it, but you still solo it, like a 50-50. Or even a 75-25.
Right.
It should be very high. Or it's like if they don't give you an exotic, it's like, hey, here's an Ascendant Shard.
Mm.
Cool. That's great. If I'm getting shards out of it, or like the golf balls or the alloy out of it, like if all of those are added to the pool, it's like I'll spend more time in there. Even though I have all the exotics unlocked and I don't really care about getting ones for new rolls, I'll go in there for that. It's like let me top off my alloys and get in there and play some Lost Sectors mindlessly for 2 hours. But man, those drop rates, awful.
To me, this really benefits the players that do the bounty grind most days, where they'll log in and like, all right, where's my bounties? What I gotta go do? And then as they're exploring and getting the bounties done, they do a Lost Sector. They go around the EDZ or the Cosmodrome, get those chests, open them up, and then at the end of the night, they might be, 4 or 5 more Gunsmith engrams in deep. This is for the people that's not really grinding out nightfalls, grinding out raids. This is just a easy way to go get some new weapons.
Yeah, and those Gunsmith, like the bounties, like you said, are easy. Yep. They're not bad at all. I just grab them automatically, even if I don't want to do them. Like, oh, there's a sword one. I'll go kill things with a sword for 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. Not bad.
I just go to a Lost Sector.
Yeah, exactly. Just walk into a Lost Sector with a sword, and literally 2 minutes later, it's already done.
All right, that's mainly it for the TWID this week. That was from Sam. So make sure you all stay crafty. All right, next up is 3 likes and 3 dislikes. My like for the week is that I finished the season pass finally. I think I logged in this week, and I was sitting at 92 or 93, and I had about 6 seasonal challenges banked, maybe like 8 bounties loaded on Chad, cashed those all in, boosted me up to like 105. And I was like, oh, cool. It's finally done. So that's my like for a week.
It's he loads in on me. It cracks me up because normally he loads in on me. If he's in comms, I can join him and we can do stuff. But he loads in and then disappears after a minute. I'm like, been nice playing with you, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that's always sending messages when I'm loading in on people. Just cashing bounties, then I'll leave. Sorry. Like
don't leave.
Yeah, I have no shame. Please don't kick me, or I hope you're not in the middle of a solo something or other. I'm flying in on you. So, what was your like this week, Chado?
My like is not chasing those seasonal red borders. Got all the weapons done, and there's a lot of weapons this season. Obviously not the Crota ones. Still working on the Crota ones. But the seasonal ones, I don't have to worry about. I got them done at the end of last week. I think you guys were busy having an IRL meetup weekend. So I was doing some of that in between me playing that and Pokemans. And I switched over as soon as I got that last red border I needed. And I was like, sweet. I'm done with this. I'm done with this now. So I switched. But it's nice. It takes a big weight away from feeling like I need to play to playing because I want to.
My like is that because of DDoS, we've been able to kind of stack difficult stuff to do. So whenever the servers get sorted out, we'll kind of have just a few nights of being able to go through the stuff that I like without having to space it out or it being drip fed. Dislike lost sectors and Ethernet adapters on motherboards. So those are my dislikes this week.
All right. And my dislike is after tonight, I kind of scrambled, but after tonight, lore's pretty tapped out. Because the raid is a reprise, there's no raid weapon or armor lore. And since it's also not a new dungeon, there is no lore coming from that either. So the only lore came from the seasonal weapons and armor, and then seasonal exotic stuff like the armor, exotic ships, sparrows, and then the ghost shells. So we've already tapped that well dry. So it's gonna be digging, but I was hoping we would get some haunted news, or is that what the seasonal thing is?
Yeah, but I think it's a little too early.
Yeah. Festival of Lost.
Yeah.
Gosh, well, October is next week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess the second reset of October could be it. But
yeah.
I mean, I guess I could probably find something to do there, but I'll figure it out. If you guys don't send in any questions, I got some stuff to do, but it's always sad when that happens. But I mean, the lore is mostly in the seasonal activity and all the voice lines and stuff going on. It's just less for me to read to you guys, which is good for everybody else and bad for me, I guess.
So those are usually 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Those.
Mm-hmm.
So the 31st is a Tuesday. So do you think they cut it on that one or run it up through November 7th?
Oh, it'll be up
I feel like it usually runs into November a little bit.
It's always the last. It's a week longer than Halloween.
Okay, so number 1, 2. So maybe the 17th is when that's going to start because you'll have the week of the 17th, the week of the 24th, and the week of the 31st.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense.
My dislike is that I don't have a weapon to chase right now. And that's usually what kept me going with long parts of this game is you chasing that weapon wall. I made a palindrome for a very long time. Palindrome was like a gun to chase. And I don't have a palindrome in this game now. Weapon crafting killed majority of it. The random walled weapons, I don't see it out there right now with how strong everything else is to go chase like a wayframe stasis grenade launcher should make me want to go back to that dungeon and the Ghost of Deep and play that out. But it's still not making me go chase it. So I don't know what Bungie's going to be doing moving forward with this, but it's just the lack of grind It's definitely gone in many ways of this game.
Hey man, I'll 2-man that dungeon anytime you want.
True.
I still need a bunch of armor from it still.
Yeah, we never went and got that title done. All right. Next up is weapons breakdown. So we're going to do the last 3 Crota weapons here. With the Water Crota, which is a Void 180 RPM hand cannon. PvE, there's a lot of stuff to go with here for this gun. To be honest, like this is a really good PvE hand cannon. But I did settle with small bore, appended mag, demolitionist, and frenzy, just for an overall general PvE hand cannon. That's going to solve you a lot of problems with that. Well, but repulsor brace in column 3, sword logic in column 4, destabilizing rounds in column 4 to pair with repulsor brace. A lot of good stuff. Then a classic demolitionist paired with adrenaline junkie and PvE. I think you kind of can't go wrong with that. PvP wise, I'm just going to dump range into this hand cannon. So that's hammer forge with accurized rounds, and then a lightened action with precision instrument. Kind of just racking up percentage damage, and trying to make this 180 3-tap like a 140. That's kind of the goal there. Probably would pair that with like a Radiant Hunter to, with the acrobat dodge to get Radiant all the time, and trying to get 3 taps off.
Do you like 180s on mouse and keyboard?
For the most part, no. But I have played a decent amount with this Water Crota and tried to make it work, but that directly up and down recoil of the weapons don't feel good.
I don't care for him either. I used to love like Lunas Hal, like Trust. Now, like those, I thought they felt great on controller, but.
All right, moving on to a pulse rifle, and that is the Oversoul Edict. So it's a rapid fire frame arc pulse rifle. I think some PvP people is really wanting to get this crafted to go after. So we're going to talk about that first. So I'm going to go with arrowhead break in the barrel. Recoil direction out of the box is 49. That boosts it to 79. So need a counterbalance stock on there. That gets you to 94 recoil with arrowhead break and counterbalance. So that's going to feel good in PvP. And then I'll go ricochet rounds to get you that range and stability with keep away, and then head seeker or moving target in that last column. I think head seeker's to play for majority of players, but I don't know if moving target helps you just get that last bit of burst off to where it's going to count as a headshot. So probably personal preference there. In that third column, there's definitely some other plays for PvP with keep away. I mean, not keep away. Keep away is what I went for, but Eye of the Storm, it's the other option. Eye of the Storm's pretty dang good in PvP still. PvE wise, arrowhead break, flared magwell, demo with volt shot or sword logic. It's gonna be I think you love volt shot, Ryan. So flared magwell,
yes,
you get that reload off.
Yeah, volt shot is. I'm a pretty big fan. I have it on several weapons. So most of them were Season of the Plunder weapons, I think, was when that one came out.
Yeah.
So that what is it? Briar's Love or Briar's whatever the sidearm is.
Is it content?
No, that's the linear fusion from the raid.
Okay.
Yeah, so whatever the sidearm is from the Plunder season is very good. Very, very, very good. So if you can get your hands on one, I would recommend it. Jared will never talk about it because he hates them, but that gun is very good.
Yeah, they could delete sidearms tomorrow. I wouldn't even think anything. You know, it'd be great.
never know.
All right. Last weapon here is Song of Irute. And to me, this is probably the best weapon of the raid. PvE, small bore, high caliber rounds, reconstruction with sword logic or target lock. The sword logic, well, with reconstruction, just means that you can main this machine gun and never reload, and just keep damage buffs permanently on you. That target lock in that last column, you could go rewind rounds in column 3 instead, and just completely never have to reload for like, I don't know, probably like a half a minute, 30 seconds. You know, just completely keep firing and not stopping. Fox here, you'd probably argue for Volt Shot there in column 4, and maybe a Feeding Frenzy in column 3 as basically that's Thunderlord at home whenever you want.
Right. It. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. we have Thunderlord at home, and it's this one. Yeah. So I don't think I have anything remotely even capable of this gun yet. This is like the one gun that's not dropping for me out of the raid. Brigand's Law, by the way, is the name of that sidearm, not Briar. But yeah, I keep in mind I use the machine guns more as like a ad clear weapon. I don't use it as damage, which it's for some reason since like the last 4 seasons they've become like damage weapons, which is not really how I like to use them. I think they're pretty boring to use that way. So, but with the Volt Shot, like you had said, that would be pretty sick. That's definitely what I will be crafting whenever I eventually get these to drop.
PvP wise, fluted barrel with ricochet rounds, and then keep away and sword logic. After you get 1 kill with it in PvP, you'll be able to easily just cut through butter with that next kill. How fast that time to kill will be. So that's it for Codazen weapons. If you got any weapons that you want us to talk about, or if you want to show off your God Wall, and send it to us, and then we will try to find ways to down your God Wall and make you feel like it's not a God Wall because we're just jealous of it. So
Jared will go, it's not a 5 out of 5. It's a 4 out of 5. Yep. Gambling Corner, we're going to skip over this week because we didn't get to play together. It should be fun, though, whenever it happens. Closest to total kills. So we'll have to, I don't know. We'll figure something out. We'll somehow get it to where Chad almost has to delete a weapon and he gets mad and refuses to talk about it or have fun. And then we let him win the last few weeks so he doesn't have to delete anything.
I still will refuse to talk about it even if I am winning.
That's usually how it goes. Chad is currently in the lead at 17,000. So I would say there's a lot of season left, but there's not. So I believe that takes us on to the lore.
That's true. It does. And this week we're finishing off the the last couple of weapons. Weapon lore we got. We got the seasonal hand cannon, the pay to win an emblem fusion rifle, and then necrotism. Ryan's favorite weapon ever, forever and ever. So we'll start off with the seasonal hand cannon malediction. I understand that getting through the portal is important, Crow began. It's more than important, Osiris interrupted. It's our best chance to prevent the final shape, however the witness conceives it. Beyond that, it's a chance to study paracausality at a level we've never had access to before. I get it, Crow interjected. The hunter was overseeing the unloading of Spider's ship in the Elixni Quarter. House of Lightworkers ferried crates into warehouses on ingenious Elixni-made trolleys. Normally, such a task would be outside Crow's purview, but Spider couldn't be trusted to stick to his manifests. So, here he was. Osiris stood back and watched the bustle with detachment. I've heard all the reasons, Crow continued, and they all make sense. It's just... He paused, trying to find a delicate way of broaching the subject. Savathun, Osiris provided, his voice tinged with foreboding. Yeah, Crow replied. He shook his head in dismay. We worked so hard to put her away, and after everything we went through, what you went through, we're just going to bring her back? Under his mask, Osiris's lips pressed into a thin, tense line. In truth, the situation pained him greatly, but he would not allow his gnawing doubt to infect the young hunter. When he spoke, his voice came out as smooth and measured as always. Guardians sacrifice more than their lives in defense of humanity, more than their friends or their ghosts. We sacrifice our peace of mind. In many ways, it is our greatest loss, Osiris said, imagining Saint's concern. But it's the price we pay for knowledge we bear, for the power we wield. I know, Crow sighed, recalling Amanda's empty spot in the hangar. I know. Tessellation. Once nothing became something. There was a game of possibilities. Patterns emerged that could, would, flourish or fail, wax or wane, and in the gaps between, there was nothing. But nothing is an absence, defined by all things that might one day be and yet never find fruition. It is an entropy of existence. For nothing to become something, it is as simple as a flipped bit, a chance mutation, a fallen leaf. Once it has become, it has always become, for castles are less fragile when built by something than nothing. Something grows, and grown it is seen. Once something becomes something else, there were a people of potential and promise, of galvanizing growth. But their tools, their grand intention, the happenstance aligned of infinite years and atoms, were as sculptor's clay, that which becomes the finest of statuary. Purpose carved from meaninglessness, the chance of generation of the universe crafted into beauty, intentionality. That which served no reason ceased randomness, elided by the sculptor's art. Something changes, and changed, it continues. Once something will become nothing, there are beings who plant their intention and say so far no further. The bulwarks and the bastions, the stubborn flower that will defy even stone, in these hands possibility is a single-minded tool. Resolution, pursuit, obliteration, what potential lies in empty space. All that dies is only ever transformed, abscised, and swallowed by wilderness, returned to infinite metamorphosis. To excise from that rich loam of transformation requires no less than perfect certainty. Here's the secret. A plowshare and a sword have never truly differed. And finally, necrochasm. Arise for Crota, son of Oryx, the Hope Eater, he who has seized the sky layer above Ceres, which peers into other planes. Now vassal to the might of the World Breaker, within these keyholes our brood communes with unheard voices, they who whisper that the curse of our thralls is a blessing granted by the deep. Now in honor of the god knight, we fashion these gluttonous whispers into death. His hellmouth becomes home to the profane, the corpse of the sky reborn in the abyss. I think the writing in Tessellation is definitely very interesting. The way that it's written through shows a level of thought, I think, is what they're trying to convey with the witnesses people. This is all like, it all is based off of the thoughts that his civilization created before they became one being. So seeing all these things kind of like helps personify the witnesses peoples as a as a peoples, not as a one person. So these are like the thoughts over their millennia of evolving and thinking and all that kind of thought. But it's like, okay, yeah, 100%. Like if you didn't know that the pyramids were a construction by this civilization, the Tessellation is obviously built by these same people. So anything that is of that made of that darkness material, the ones that the pyramid ships are made of is made by this civilization before they became the witness, or they have like some kind of machinery that can just create stuff on its own without having to have people manning it. But yeah, no, it's definitely neat to think about, but it's a lot of stuff.
Do you think we're gonna hear any other like in-game stuff about the witnesses startup or the people
who they were?
Yeah.
I hope so. Because we see all the statues and stuff inside the pyramids. We see their architecture. Like we've seen all these things, and we also have the crafting table too, which has its own room of just materials that everything's made out of. So it would help give us some kind of background information to all this stuff. But I mean, they don't really need to. They've already given us the witnesses is a whole people's turned into one that's chasing after Traveler for this reason. It's definitely a gold mine of stuff that they could ride into, no problem. But I think since next season's the last season before, is it the last season or 2 more seasons? No,
next season's the last.
The last season before we go and take care of the witness. I don't know how much backstory we're gonna get into the peoples. I hope we get more, but
no.
Wouldn't it be cool if there was like a sideshow anime or something that went into that sort of stuff, and why their horses have so many asses? Like, I would love to know that.
It's because you can make 10 to 12 sliders and keep it living after each hind end. All right, that takes us to the mailbag.
All right. Let me say here, hold on, before we hit the mailbag. Did you guys happen to see in chat the roll that James got on his Adept Word of Crota? That it's got repulsor brace or sword it's got repulsor brace and sword logic on it. So that would be pretty sick with the Adept version, being able to have that. So looking forward to getting some of those Adept rolls on that one. So, but Jared, want to hit us with the mailbag here?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start out. Question 1. Would you rather get DDoS during a raid or run 5 master loss sectors without an exotic drop?
I guess it depends on the raid.
Yeah. Like, am I with like my normal 5 other people and we can just get back together and pick up where we were? Or is this like an LFG slog that you're 3 hours into and you know that the group's done once you're there? If it's with our normal group, I'd rather just get DDoSed and come back in. Yeah. Because usually we're one attempting most things, maybe 2 if something bad happens, but
those master lock sectors, I think there's a couple of them I was trying to do like early on in the season, and I was probably 20 under the light or something like that, and just complete. I think it took me like 7 clears on like the warlock to get the gloves or something like that, which was just dumb, just so dumb. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. So just give me the DDoS during the raid. So.
Yep, 100%.
Question 2. Is it a coincidence that Bungie takes away all of our legendary shards and then adds something that you would actually use legendary shards for at the Gunsmith?
I didn't even think about that.
I'm going to say no, it's not a coincidence myself. But I don't know. I'm the cynical one of the group, so.
Yeah, so you can't just straight buy engrams anymore for legendary shards. You haven't been able to do that for a while. like this is something that is needed in the game for people that wants to focus some of these weapons, and has nothing to do with legendary shards.
Yeah, no, it's you've always, since they started this kind of system where you have the engrams you can focus, you need to have an engram to focus, because our bank of 10,000+ shards isn't going to buy you an infinite number of foundry engrams. You can only focus what you have, so you'd have to play a bunch to get the engrams to be able to use up all your legendary shards. Now if it was instead of engrams, I see your point, but like it's not like it was back when you spent your 12,000 shards for your sidearm. You just buy engrams.
Yeah. Oh, pain. I don't know. I also hate how they take away the stuff at the end of the season. Like if I want to leave 80 freaking engrams at the Gunsmith, like I should be able to leave those there. I shouldn't have to go the last week and cash all those in and run over to the postmaster and clear that out and then come back, and like I should be able to stack those. Maybe put a cap at 100 or something, but like I shouldn't have to, because like I lost a lot of Gunsmith engrams when the season rolled over this time. But it's kind of like even if I open them up, like am I going to keep a single one of these?
Probably not.
No, but it would be nice to have 100 of those sitting up for whenever this starts, you know? So.
But start grinding lost sectors.
Yeah. That way they can. Dude, I think I need like. I have all the Warlock exotics, and I think I'm like 3 behind on the Hunter and 3 behind on the Titan, like the ones that have came out, like lost sectors each season. And I'm pretty sure all of them are gloves, and maybe 4 are gloves, or 5 are gloves, and 1 is a chest or something maybe. And dude, I am absolutely dreading doing that.
You could do
I'm at the point to where I'm about to just wait till next year when I can just get them, because we're pretty close. We're pretty close at this point.
Chat, what's the special Vex public event on Neonuma? Vex
You're
Incursion.
talking about
Space Invaders.
Yeah, Vex Incursion. You can just do that. You can get them to drop. Like there's I think there's Discord bots or whatever that will tell you.
I have it. I have one that comes, and it's always like, I never get that Discord notification when I'm sitting playing Destiny.
Yeah.
It's always when I'm like driving at work. So
I wish they would have it on like trials weekends. That's also like Vex Incursion weekends where it happens once an hour or something like that.
Yeah, in the zone, it just replaces public events. So anytime it would rotate back to that zone to be a public event, it just turns into an invasion or incursion or whatever. That'd be good.
We do have a question from the live studio audience. Will Savathun be resurrected next season, or are they saving it for the start of Final Shape?
I thought it was going to be this season.
I think it's going to be at the end of this season, like the end of it, and then next season is going to be us working with her to figure out a way into the portal.
Do you think are they going to kill off Asa? Do you think?
How dare you?
Like, is that something they're going to do, like, this, like, at the end of next season, maybe? Like, you know, they're going to have, like, some sort of, like, culminating event, right? That's going to be, like, all the Avengers have to come together, you know? And then I feel like that's how they're going to set it up. So, with that, I wonder if they're going to do something that kind of pulls all the seasonal storyline stuff. So like, I don't know. Savathun's there. I see. I'm not convinced she comes back this season. I think it would. I think it'd be cool if, or I wouldn't be surprised to see like some sort of cinematic of like her resurrecting like the cutscene that leads into the final shape. So, because for whatever reason, like people love that expansion. So I think that would be something they could use marketing wise, like hype, and it would pull it right before that launched. As now it comes back, you're at your probably not the lowest of the year, but people aren't back yet. And I feel like they would want to save that for when more people are playing.
Yeah, it makes sense. I see what you're saying.
Chad's probably right there.
All
right. Question 4. 4?
Yeah.
3.
What would your thoughts be? What would your thoughts be on Destiny adding a restaurant, diner, food system into the game that gives buffs? Think increased exotic drop chance, increased XP and playlist activities, etc. Nothing that would break the game, but something you could use resources towards. Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Final
Nice to use
Fantasy
legendary shards on that.
Final Fantasy 15 had like a similar system. I know Monster Hunter has something like this. They've already got like the ramen shop and that kind of stuff in there. I think that would be a fantastic. I don't think it's going to come in this game, but maybe in a future game, I think that could be really cool.
Yeah, the ramen shop makes sense. Maybe get some meaning to the bazaar. It'd be cool if like Mithrax and Ido's in there just whipping up some food. Like, hey, here you go, Gordon. Let me tell you a story about this bowl of soup that we've perfected over the years, So, yeah, that makes sense. Like, you could have, like, it's like a Fallen theme. You're like, all right, if you defeat Fallen, you're more likely to have Glimmer drop or something like that. That'd be cool. I think that's a good addition to the game.
You think, like, how many arms does Mithrax have?
4.
You think he would be like a better chef than just us 2-arm plebs?
He's like really good with electronics, right? So like you're like I have an air fryer in one hand, have a microwave in another, a toaster oven, yeah,
Instapot,
yeah.
And then they could have like something like with the cookies for that, like the dawning or whatever. They could do that. They could have special guest cooks. So like Drifter comes for like a weekend and he has like certain meals that he can make, to where like if you do this quest for the Drifter, you get, I don't know, like increased sword damage against Hive if you complete this, eat this meal, Hive, bring a sword. So I don't know. I think there could be some cool stuff there. Which will Bungie release first, the Destiny 1 remaster or Destiny 3?
To me, it's a D1 remaster.
Man, that game would be such trash if you went back to it right now. Yeah. Not being able to like mantle or grapple.
Yep.
Do you think they could do that for like a bridge? Like a bridge year or two?
They're going to not make Destiny content for a few years at some point.
They're going to have to in order to bank some for the next major, whatever the next major thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever Ryan said. What do you think, Chad?
Whatever Ryan said.
Chad's not feeling. You're not feeling the mailbag this week, man.
I mean, a remastered D1, they already have most of it in D2. You would just add locations. That's the only thing that D1 has that D2 currently doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, and Wrath of the Machine.
You know how they did like WoW Classic though, right? To where like it released, and then like I think it was like every 2 weeks the next like patch or whatever would come out. So maybe they could do some sort of cadence like that to where maybe you don't wait a year before like the Taken King comes out, but maybe they can take the 3 years of that game and turn it into 18 months or something. Oh well. All right. Question 5, 6. Do you have your Halloween costume picked out yet?
The idea of one, I think we're gonna have like a dog dress up as a hot dog, and then I might be ketchup or mustard, and my wife would be the opposite.
Okay.
I'm gonna be popular podcast co-host Chadocero. Gonna be my Halloween costume.
So original.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You have to dress up for the Halloween episode, which will be the one before the 31st. Yeah. I've been working on the mullet for a minute, so we're. I know Morgan Wallen cut his hair, but I'm going as Morgan Wallen for Halloween. The version with the mullet. So, question 7. Pick a number 1 through 100. Let me get the RNG generator. Or random number generator pulled up here.
So with
Chad, you have the most glimmer, so we'll let you pick first.
Random number. 85.
We've had single digits back-to-back weeks. It ends this week, 22.
Yeah, so we've had 6, 2. Chad says 85, 22. I'm going to say 57. Going to be my guess. And just order for the sanctity of the event so nobody can say that I cheated. We'll pull it up on stream here on the Twitch stream. What it is after the third roll is the winner. 1, 2, 11.
Wow.
We have 59, 56, 11. So,
not even close.
All right. So we'll keep that going. I think that takes us to the end of the show. But we appreciate everybody who is here stopping by. We definitely appreciate it. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at DestinyCCPod. If you're listening to us on Spotify, iTunes, or other podcast services, don't forget you can watch us live on Thursdays, usually around 10 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock. Twitch, YouTube. I'll let these other guys sign off.
Hey, thanks for being in the chat, everyone. Mommy could try. They guessed 100. That's and that one didn't hit. But better luck next time.
And come at them with lore questions, especially in the chat too. That's great. I love it. And any lore ideas you guys have or things that are just burning up at you. I got a coworker that does it to me periodically, and it ends up being like a 15-minute chat about stuff. So it's always fun to have, and it'd be fun to have a couple of those on here.
As always, go Cats, fuck Florida. Love you guys.